Welcome back to another episode of The Associates. Today we have a big one. We're going to talk about, we have a few topics. First off, this is our first time we're going to have a guest. So this is a big one for us. A couple of topics we're going to touch base is inflation, the carbon tax, and some other stuff. What else did you want to talk about, David, today?
A lot about inflation, I think, right now with the report that came out from December. I also saw U.S. retail sales were just announced this morning.
Okay.
So retail sales in the U.S. are actually up.
Okay.
They beat expectations. So just shows that the U.S. economy is just in a
For sure.
much better position than up here in Canada right now.
Awesome. So we got lots planned today. So hopefully you guys stay in and keep an eye on it and watch it. First off, we're going to introduce our guest. She's a realtor on our team. She's been here for a while. She works really hard. I've worked with her a couple of times. She's great to work with. And if ever you need somebody who's going to be on your side and get you the best deal, she's definitely one of the best. So what's her name, David?
This is Cindy Lee.
Cindy Lee. Awesome. You gonna bring her in?
Bring her in. Oh, that's me. I forgot you gave me a host. Okay, here she comes.
Cindy, you there?
How are you? Thanks.
Cindy.
Good, good.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Cindy. We're all right. How you doing?
Good.
A little last minute. We had a different person, but they kind of bailed on us. So Cindy was so gracious and nice to come in and take his place or their place. I'm sorry.
Second choice.
Second choice.
Well, we are always our first choice. It's just that you were so busy. I called you the other day, and I'm happy whatever happened canceled, right?
Mhm. Yes, glad to be on here.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Well, why
coming.
don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Why'd you come into real estate? Why are you doing real estate? Of all
I
things.
started real estate about 6 years ago and mainly part-time with a smaller team than Frank Leo. I wasn't getting the support I was looking for and wasn't really growing in a career-wise, personal as well. So I decided to join Frank when I saw ad on Facebook. And it was the best decision because I've learned. Well, I joined last January, so I've learned much more in that 1 year compared to the all 6 years I've joined real estate. So definitely a good decision on my part.
Awesome,
Happy
awesome.
anniversary.
Yeah. And what
You,
did you do before real estate?
I did accounting at a desk,
Oh,
payroll, a little bit of marketing as well. So it felt like it wasn't for me, so I decided to jump into real estate.
cool, cool.
Nice.
And what are some things that you've noticed in real estate that you didn't see when you first, started doing this? Like, were you like when you first joined, you're probably like, oh, it's like TV shows, right? It's going to be easy. I'm just going to show houses and open the doors, and it's going to be this easy. Like, what are some pain points that you've seen since you started real estate?
Definitely harder than I expected for sure. Takes a lot of consistency, because motivation doesn't really stay with you. It takes consistent hard work. Building a thick skin, I would say. Initially, I was very scared to call people and getting no's or getting rejected, but really it's just part of the whole process and accepting that, not take it personal and just keep going and just really out there to help people. That's the
Awesome.
main goal.
I like it.
Yes.
Any questions for her, David?
So how long have you actually been in real estate for?
I've been in real estate for 6 years, like I mentioned.
Right, no, but
Oh,
I mean, like you have investment properties. When we say been in real estate, when did you buy your first property?
Oh, when I first bought my first, okay, I bought a condo in Liberty Village for like 300K back in 2014, I believe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I've always had an interest in real estate, uh, I guess just seeing how, the prices grow over time. Really
So you've
just,
been doing this for 6 years. So you've seen the up of 2017, the down of 2018, then the up of 2022, and then now this down. Like it's a little crazy, right?
yes, for sure.
Where do you
what are your
see it
thoughts on the
going?
market right now?
Yeah.
My thoughts on the market, I know people are all anticipating the interest rate to drop, middle of this year. But inflation just came out. It did have a little bit of uptick, so really don't know what's going to happen. But hopefully, it comes down because a lot of people are struggling to make their payments.
For sure. A lot of renewals coming up in the next couple of years. They say 2025 is going to be one of the biggest years for renewals, and 26.
Yeah,
But do you think by then we'll be corrected, or you think like things will start like changing, or you think it's gonna still be bad in that time?
In what sense? Like prices?
Yeah, you think like what do you think is gonna like? I mean, I think when we're looking at all of Canada, I think when you got to look at Canada and then Toronto on its own, right? Like almost.
I would say that prices are probably going to stay modest growth. It would be my prediction. A little bit of growth. We've been up, the bank's been up about 5% since July of last year.
Right.
And all three of us have seen, prices have come down a little bit, and in some areas more so than others, but it hasn't been this whole renewal cliff that a lot of people were expecting. Like, there's a lot of people in pain out there, but
Sure.
as we've talked about before, people are going to exhaust all their options in most cases to keep their home.
Yeah. I mean, there was an article we did read that said that the Bank of Canada sent out a survey, and I think some like their Canadians are still okay paying more. So what that tells me is that they probably surveyed them as like, would you be interested if would you be okay if we increase the rates a little more? And they're like, yeah, we'll be fine. We're gonna weather the storm. We're Canadians. We take everything sitting down, head on.
I don't
But
know.
I don't
I
know.
think the prices. I feel like Toronto has always had you know, pretty resilient. So there's some parts of Toronto right now. One of our agents, they won in a bidding war for 18 offers. So I think there is a little, there's still lots of pent up demand from buyers. They're still looking for homes to buy, and they're just sort of waiting on the sidelines and seeing what will happen.
Okay.
You have a lot of buyers right now waiting, Cindy?
I do, yeah, from last year. They're all saying they're gonna buy this year, or they're still waiting to see what's going on with the interest rate, and you know, what happens when the interest rate will come down, right? Like what happened with the home prices. So it'll be
So
interesting.
what do those conversations look like that you're having with these buyers right now?
They're just still waiting. I mean, I've asked them like, what exactly are you waiting for? Are you waiting for all the buyers coming out, having multiple offers per house, or are you waiting to really look when there's not much competition? And they're just like, oh, I don't know, just really just waiting, pretty much for the majority. What's everyone gonna do?
I think a lot of people are waiting for prices to go up.
Yeah.
Just that one month when prices come up even a little bit, where people are going to say, "Oh, we got to get back in the market right now. We got to start getting back out there and looking at homes again." So, we'll see. It's been an interesting ride the last few years in real estate, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's always ups and downs for sure.
So,
So
uh,
what area do you typically work in, Cindy?
I live in Stouffville, so I typically work in this area. I go as far as Simcoe, also Clarington area, but I
Oh,
go pretty much everywhere.
anywhere the buyers can buy, right?
Exactly, I'm flexible.
what's the
Uh,
market like up there right now in Stouffville?
Stouffville's a little bit slow right now at the moment. Not much activity is going on. Um, Markham, I feel like there's still Markham has always been pretty good with activities compared to Stouffville.
Hmm. And you speak Mandarin, right?
I speak Mandarin, yes.
Do you find that that helps you a lot in your career?
With Mandarin, typically, yeah, with Mandarin buyers and Mandarin agents, um, even in the rental market, I do rentals as well, and I feel like they're more open to other Mandarin speaking agents.
So
For
is that
sure.
like a secret in? You get an extra, get inside information because you speak Mandarin, or
Maybe not inside information. I feel like they're just more comfortable with
you
the Mandarin
you're just
Sure.
speaking.
friendlier with you.
Yes.
For sure. I mean, being able to speak to people in their
For
native
sure.
language for sure is gonna be a positive, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your prediction, Cindy? When do you think the Bank of Canada is going to start cutting?
Well, I'm hoping when they're maybe mid of June, or hopefully earlier than that, but you know,
Summertime?
summertime. Yeah.
So that's it. You heard it here first. Cindy Lee guarantees the first Bank of Canada decrease in June.
Oh, you guys, leave all the comments you need. If she's not right, you can yell at her in this video, and we'll relay the message to her.
I'm sensitive.
I'm
You're what? You're listening.
Okay.
Fair enough, fair enough. But you said you got thick skin, right? You've been working at this hard.
Yeah. Still working on that.
Yeah, awesome. Any big plans? Are you planning to buy another property this year? It's a good time, right?
Yeah, if I make more money, I'll definitely consider buying.
Okay, you see, you
Nice.
can always trust a realtor that's always open to buying because it's always
Always
good.
for good deals, right? That's
Sure,
what
for sure.
all the buyers are looking for right now.
Awesome. So,
What do you got?
I don't know. I guess we could talk about I don't know. I read some cool articles here. There's one that says the three cheapest places in Canada. And I'm surprised the number three, they're saying if you want to stay close to Toronto, the cheapest place to be is Brampton.
That was
And I was
surprising for
really
me.
shocked to see that because I
Okay.
mean, I don't think Brampton's yes, Brampton isn't expensive, but it's expensive in other things too, right? And I just don't feel like there's better options than Brampton.
I mean, it's not as expensive as Mississauga, but still, you're
I
over $1
guess if you're
million
looking at the
for
West End, but I
a
mean
nice
east,
detached home.
yeah, fair enough. Then number two was Windsor, which okay, fair enough. Windsor is
Makes
pretty
sense.
cheap. Yeah.
That was
Then
nice.
can you guys guess the number one spot in Canada that's supposedly the cheapest place to live?
In
I
Canada?
I read the
Yeah.
article, so I'll let Cindy take a shot.
I sent it
It's
to her too. I mean, I guess we'll find out if she read it or
We have
not.
time to read it.
in the West Coast, West-ish.
Yeah, it's like central-ish.
Wait, in
Central.
Canada? The
Yeah,
It's in
whole Canada?
Saskatchewan. If you can guess, I'll give you the province, Saskatchewan.
I don't know.
It's Regina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never
Cheapest
guessed.
place to live in Canada. I mean, I don't know how accurate this article is, if they have Brampton as number three, but I mean, fuck.
I would figure the East Coast would be up there. Newfoundland,
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Labrador.
yeah.
I know a lot of people from Ontario have moved out east in the last couple of years. Even what
Yeah.
somebody I grew up with, him and his family
Brunswick, yeah.
picked up and moved to the East Coast because the cost of living was that much less. So when it comes to immigration, we'll
I
see.
mean, yeah.
Apparently, they came out with a new law that they want to basically restrict the amount of student visas that they give
Yeah.
for international students. And then I also read an article that said that new housing starts were down 7% last year. So it's this. I mean, I know everybody keeps talking about immigration and housing, but it'll be interesting. They're not building enough homes, right? So, well,
I think that's the
where's the
priority.
affordable housing going to come from?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they say affordable, I mean, what's affordable in
I think
Toronto?
affordable to me is government issue, like government owned housing that have rent caps on them.
Right.
And then what's affordable in Toronto is going to be different than Winnipeg and
Right.
Calgary and other marketplaces, but it's an expensive place to live here in Canada.
Yeah.
So
They're also
what's
they're
the
also
solution?
talking about increasing the carbon tax. I think another 5 or 7 cents or something like that.
Why not, right? We'll add more tax to the fire.
And now they're giving
No
a
problem.
rebate too. So they're also giving you a rebate. And in that rebate, you can get it. The bigger your family, the bigger the rebate. So they're saying that you'll get a bigger amount and you should be getting more than what you're paying into it. How does that work?
I don't think it does. I don't think. But Cindy, I'm curious, Cindy. What do you think the country needs to do? Well, what are some changes you'd like to see, just in general, to help the economy, to help families, to help the average Canadian? Like, well, what are some things that you'd like to see happen?
Well, for one, the obvious one is affordable housing. So, lots of people can't afford to, buy or even rent right now. And just, yeah, that's number one. And also grocery items. Um, and lots of immigration coming in, and they need housing. So we definitely need to, solve the affordable housing issue. That's what I would like to see.
What do you
Sure.
think, Jean-Michel?
I think, they need to build more homes faster. I think they need to figure out what they're doing with their country before they start opening the floodgates. We got to have housing for these people to come through. I think they need to cut taxes and increase housing. I think that's what it is. Just cut those.
How do we come up with the solution where the new housing goes to families that need it? When over half the sales are generally to investors, that are either going to rent these properties or then sell them as assignments. How do you get around that?
I think they need to force people to migrate outside of the major cities, because you go outside of the major city, like you go like to Belleville, you go to like even between Toronto and Montreal, like there's like a bunch of towns, like anything, even between Kingston and Toronto, you can go and find some affordable housing. It's just that you're far from everything. I think they just need to develop those areas more, like force the universities and schools to make a different campus, maybe further away in a different city, like what they did in Waterloo, right? Like Waterloo wasn't expensive.
But
And
governments don't
now,
want that. They call it urban sprawl. They don't like
right,
it because when you have these communities that pop up in the middle of nowhere, the cost to run the services and the fire halls, the police stations, the schools, it becomes
right.
something that governments don't actually want. So
Yeah, but you're
uh,
talking about something, we have so much land here. Sorry, Cindy, go ahead.
What do you think would be the solution for that, David?
it's hard to say when we have a broke country. We are broke as a nation. We don't have any money. We've been running deficits for 20, 30 years in this country. It doesn't matter what political party is in power. We have no money. We're broke. The average Canadian is poorer today than we were back in 2018. Per capita GDP continues to go down and down and down. The only reason these numbers look somewhat optimistic is because a lot of these numbers don't factor in immigration. It's the same thing with GDP. You know, all these new people come to the country and they spend money in our economy, and that adds to the overall the money supply in this country. But I don't know. We need to slash a huge percentage of the government. The government's way too big and bloated. I think we need to tap into some of our more natural resources. I think we should be producing more oil in this country versus importing it from countries that do not like us. I think there's a lot of change that needs to happen. Whether or not it will is another country, but I'm hoping so. Think about the generations that are behind us. Think about the younger people. Look how hard it is for people of our age, and you compare that to our parents, and you know, uh, we're not so far removed from one person working and owning a modest home and being able to travel once a year. And, like it's getting worse. So I don't have all the answers, but those are just
Okay,
a
but
few of my hopes, I guess.
fine, fair enough. But now you're saying like we have such a large country, like one of the biggest countries in the world. We literally use like 3% of the land we have, the land mass we have here. Right? It's ridiculous how much land we have compared to what it is, and we're all focused in like the tiniest little areas. Like the only way
All
this will
along the
ever get
border,
solved.
all
Yeah, exactly. We're
majority of
like
the
literally
population's on
like
the
what,
border.
like we're within 100 miles from the border, or some even shorter. I think it's like
We're cl
50 or
we're close. We're
yeah,
close.
like 90% of the population is like some stupid distance from the border. I don't have it up right now. I'm sorry about that. But the only way this is ever going to get fixed is if like we have to start spreading us out. That's the only way. Like we can't, like literally Toronto's getting bigger and bigger. And if Toronto keeps getting bigger, all we're going to see is prices go up. You're going to go from Toronto, it's going to be this tiny little area. It's going to be the most expensive. Then you're going to go out a little bit. Oh, it's a little more expensive. Then it's going to keep going. And then at one point, you're going to get so far out that the prices are just going to start following suit. We have to start, like, you almost got to tell the builders, stop building in Toronto, go build in Kingston, or tell these universities to start spreading themselves out. So that
Well, they're going
way,
to build where they can get a return, right?
well, yeah,
So
that's
it's
also government too, right? That's like the government's charging too much for that as well.
there's too much tax in this country that there is. And I said this last week. If we had, beautiful roads and we had the best healthcare system in the world, I mean, you guys probably both know people that have gone to the US to go get surgeries. Like we all know people that it's almost a year wait. My uncle had to get some knee replacements, and it was 12-month wait for him to get surgery up here in Canada. So I don't know. It's like it's just a bleak outlook on the future of this country unless we have some significant change, right? I
Yeah, I
mean,
thought we talked about it last week. You got to be more positive during the video.
I'm just trying to be realistic too, right? But
Fair enough, fair enough.
Almost
No, I
no,
don't
every
disagree with you.
what's
Sorry, go
that,
ahead.
Cindy?
almost everyone I talk to or I know that they're just at some point in their life they're going to move out of Canada to Dubai or back to China or to their home countries because it's just like just not doesn't make sense anymore to live in Canada. Everything's so
Hmm.
expensive.
Are you planning to leave, Cindy?
I would like to move to Dubai.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Start a
I
real
would
estate
too.
business there, right?
Yeah, why not?
where are
Sign
you from in
sign
China?
all the time.
It's called Balto.
Baotou. Okay, whereabouts is that?
It's the north of China. It's in this province called Inner Mongolia, even though it's called Mongolia, but it's not really a Mongolia. So people get confused. It's still China. It's just
Okay.
the name of it. It's about like an hour plane ride from the capital, Beijing.
Is it colder there because you're more at north, or is it
It's similar to Canada, actually.
similar? Okay, so you get snow and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
How many people? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
not as much snow, but like just dry, cold, very cold.
So
How
like
many
BC
people
a
live
little
in
bit.
your hometown?
Sorry.
How many people? That I don't know.
Lots?
Not a lot, no, but it's still a big city. I moved out when I was grade 3, so
And then you came to Canada then?
then I went to Europe to live for 2 years in Belgium, and then I came here.
Nice.
Why did you do this in your intro? This is good. This is good information. We didn't know.
Nice.
So you went to Europe for 2 years, then you came to Canada.
Yes,
Where in Europe were you?
in Belgium.
Oh, okay.
It's a small country. It was
So
nice.
now were you doing all these moves before, like was your parents doing it for work, or were they just trying to find something better or whatnot?
They wanted to get into Canada for, better way of life. We were just waiting for immigration. Apparently, it was easier to immigrate to Europe and Belgium, and then from there to Canada.
Okay.
So that Canada was our main, goal country to come. I think that's the majority. A lot of people, try to go to Canada from China to have a, better way of life, better education. But now that I'm noticing a lot of people that study here, they go back to their country
When they're done?
when they're done.
Why do you think
So,
that is?
I think it has to do a lot of, what we talked about, the prices and, affordability, just culture.
okay. So what do your parents think? This is actually nice. What does your parents think of Canada now? Like, how do they feel about this economy and what's going on? Like, are they still, is it still what they were expecting, or is it different now for them?
Well, we've been here for 20 plus years, so I think they're pretty used to it, the country. I feel like if we were new immigrants, I feel like that answer would be different.
Okay. But I
Mm.
mean, do they notice a different, like, I mean, like from when they moved here now, I know, I understand, yes, it's been a while. Like we've had Trudeau in office for like 8, 9 years now, some ridiculous amount. Like, obviously, like it wasn't always like this, but I'm saying, like, do they notice a difference? Do they ever say, oh, when I moved here it was like this, and now it's crazy and this and that?
Yeah, yes, I definitely. They said that the prices have been going up steadily. Groceries, they've been complaining about, Chinese groceries are more expensive now than before. You know, produce is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Meats, same thing. Prices on
Mhm.
meats really expensive recently. So
Yeah.
where do we go from here?
I don't know. Just up, I guess. I mean, there could also be de-inflation, right? Like we can also see things going down, or um
I've heard arguments that deflation could actually be more detrimental to the economy.
yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah.
Apparently deflation can actually hurt the economy too. So I guess too much instability one way or the other is just not a good thing, right? Like, so
Well, yeah, I guess inflation will destroy your dollar value, right? And I guess if it goes the opposite way, then your I guess it does the same thing. It must do the same thing, right?
well, hopefully
Maybe we should do
our
some more
wonderful
research
leaders
on
can
this
get us
before we talk about it.
out of this, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else you guys got?
Well, have you guys heard about the repo market?
No.
It hasn't been on the news, but I frequently watch this YouTuber. He's a mortgage agent, and he's saying that recently the government pumped, I think, like 30 billion into the repo market. What it is that it's how banks they lend each other money on a like 1 day, 2 day basis when they're not liquid enough, and based on certain interest rates. So what that means is they also borrow from the repo market when they don't have enough cash.
Yeah.
So that really signals maybe trouble with the banks not having enough liquid and not enough asset to collateralize that. So it's interesting that's not all over the news.
Hmm. Yeah. We've already seen a lot of layoffs from a lot of these banks too this year too, right?
NTD.
Scotiabank, same thing. So, I mean, I guess the market always has to go through cycles, through ups and downs, and You know, it's just a matter of like how much worse it gets before things start to get better. So yeah,
Well, hopefully it gets better soon because this is getting a little crazy.
it's tough out there for families. Think about it. A lot like think about, you know, single parent households, and you know, being on a fixed income, and your costs have gone up, and you know, it's tough for a lot of families out there right now. So
Mhm.
And all you're seeing is increases. Like the property tax we were talking last year or last week regarding the 10.5. I had a client call me actually today, and she was going on complaining like 10.5. They increased it by 5% last year, and now 10.5. And our mayor is just sitting down taking it. She's not even fighting it and all these things. And it's just like, you know, it's hurting for a lot of people, and everything. All you're hearing is prices are up. Like groceries are up 4.7% from year over year. It's just like, when does it end? Like, how much will you pay for milk by the end of 2024? You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be $10 for milk at this point. Like, it's gonna be insane.
Mhm.
I said rent prices are up over 7% from last year.
Which I
So
don't see that. I don't notice. I can't. I'm not seeing that right now. I'm seeing its rent seems to be slowing down because there's more and more inventory, and there's not many. So I don't know.
still in
Maybe
comparison to this time last year, right?
right.
I mean, think about all the people that had to sell their home and rent, and just the general lack of inventory. There's just not a lot of homes out there for on the rental side either. So
Yeah.
we need more homes. We need to build more homes. We need to incentivize builders, you know, in some sort of way to build homes and get them completed, and in locations that have some type of demand for them. You can't get around the fact that we don't have enough homes. What are we going to start doing? Inviting people into strangers into our homes to take care of the availability issue? I mean, I don't know.
Renting rooms.
What's that? Rent some.
Rooms.
Do you know anybody who's done that?
They'd Airbnb their extra room or the basement. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And was that just to pay the bills?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
keep the house.
Keep the house. Yeah, we've heard
And
stories of people that put basement apartments into their homes
Mhm.
so they can stay
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
And then they move into the basement, and then they rent the upstairs so that way they can keep the house.
sure.
No, it's true, like 100%. It's getting crazy out there. Like to think that you're gonna have to start renting your rooms to strangers, and now it's like you'll never be comfortable because you'll never be able to relax, right? There's always going to be these random people in your house. It's just insane.
Yeah,
I have. Go
sorry.
ahead, Cindy. Go ahead.
I see on the internet that people are renting out half their beds. I don't know how that's true, but you
Wait,
I saw
what?
that too. I saw that. I think that might have been a joke, but maybe it was real. Yeah, there was a listing. How much was the listing for? Like $700 a month or something
like you
to
wake
rent
up
it.
next to a stranger.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no,
Oh man.
it's like I said, it's bad out there. The party's definitely, definitely over. The days of, 1.99% mortgage rates, that's never going to come back. And now the question is like, what is the new normal? It's probably not 5%, but what is
No.
it? Is it three,
Probably gonna be like
three and a
3.5,
half
I think.
percent?
Yeah.
When do we get there? What happens with the labor market? Unemployment's been rising steadily since April of last year. Corporations are laying off people. So yeah, it's what's going on right now.
Let's end this with a positive note. Cindy, any advice to buyers that are looking to buy right now? What would you be telling them?
I would tell them not to time the market, not to wait for that perfect time. Just to look for your perfect home, and when you're ready, just when you buy when you're ready. Not really to time
So
the price.
don't time. When you find that home you like, you better jump on it.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter about what's going on because it's a forever home, right? People are not moving in there and leaving in a year. They're going to stay there for 4, 5, 6 years, right? Things are going to be different in 4, 5, 6 years, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's
Awesome.
your
Well,
what's your positivity, Jean-Michel? I want something from you.
I think our first episode with a guest is going well. We definitely need to still work on some things, but thank you for coming, Cindy.
Thanks
We
for
really
coming, Cindy.
appreciate it.
I'm the first guest.
The very
First
first
guest.
one, the inaugural
Very,
guest.
I'm honored.
I
so I
appreciate
think the
that.
first thing you got to do after this is you got to get off this, go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe your own video. You got to do that, right?
Done
Like,
that already.
You're already a subscriber. Oh man, that's one of our 10.
there we go. Awesome. You got anything else, Jean-Michel?
No, I think that's about it.
Awesome.
I
Well,
think
thanks for tuning into another episode, and we'll see
Thank
you
you
next
for
week.
having me.
sounds
Thank
good.
you,
Thanks
Cindy.
again, Cindy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.